Hey people, Infantry here, 3v3 Faction War. This is Khatrin Purification Plant and Chaos Space Marines versus Imperial Guard. For the Blue Chaos team, Einar Helwinter is a Plague Champion. Starts off in ranged combat with the damage of a timed bolt gun, can get melee weapons, some strong utility and support alongside. War is a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and disruptive hero with powerful battlefield manipulation and control. The Thousand Suns elite scheme here. And rounding off the team, FirefoxXxles is a Chaos Lord, a durable and destructive hero walking through objects and cannot be suppressed with powerful offense and disruption, fighting in melee. The World Eaters elite scheme. Do you have an elite scheme, Einar Helwinter? This is the World Eaters. Not sure if this is the elite scheme or not. Must be. Red team for the Guard, SpicketySplitLickety is a Lord Commissar, strong offense and support, fights in melee combat with a refractor shield to start off with, as you can see there. Alongside a couple of Lord Generals. First up is ibisredibis and Jadow. These guys fight in ranged combat, begin with the retinue of stormtroopers, can add to the retinue throughout the game, giving them more abilities with a really strong defense and support, tying up the CSM in melee combat there. Popular early usage of your Lord General to try and deny some range damage against your guardsmen and stuff. No Sentinel for SpicketySplitLickety. Double guardsmen into Khatrin's most likely. There's some pawn worship for the +2 speed. Chaos Lord runs straight past the Lord Commissar into the guardsman. Commissar will do a good job tying up the CSM here. The heretics most likely will go for guardsmen. These guys have been execute buffed, so they're doing double damage, but they can't retreat, which is bad news. When heretics are on top of you, they should be using a Doom Blast here. There it is, came a little bit late. And there's the retreat. Chaos Lord turns around to say hello to the Lord Commissar. He might get a model off the CSM here. Oh no, ibisredibis was already dropped their Sentinel in that first engagement. Some Doom Bolts, there you see the remains of the Sentinel. That's very strange, because it's not double CSM here for War. Even if it was, the second CSM squad wouldn't have been in the combat yet, so I'm not sure how that Sentinel went down. Maybe he got Doom Bolted or something to finish it off. Guardsmen here flee from Ibis. Double CSM for Firefox and for Einar Helwinter. Has to get back his natural VP. Heretics with grenade launchers in play. Double CSM really pouring damage now into the guardsmen. They can focus down the Lord General. Maybe he's reinforcing in the field his retinue. Looks like he's got the medical sergeant. Can hand out medical packs to heal stuff. These guys need to start capping again. Or not. Misclicks here from Einar. There's some Nurgle worship. Looks like the CSM are going to cap while the worship goes on. Those guys are quite low. Eternal War for these fellas. Heretics on capping duty, and SpicketySplitLickety does have a Khatrin squad on the field. It might be double Khatrins here. ibisredibis also getting some Khatrin devils. No sign of replacing the lost Sentinel Jadow with heavy weapon squad on the way. They're the guy on the east side, right? Yeah. East side player here. To try to shut down this approach with a heavy weapon squad firing arc. Noble worship giving that really nice health regen between battles to heal up your stuff. Can also be pretty damn useful in a fight, especially if you're behind cover. Kicking off in the mid. There's the Doom Bolts. Hit the Khatrins pretty well. Those CSM very close, getting wrecked. The Khatrins are execute buffed for the 100% damage bonus. Now they're retreating. It might be too little too late. CSM is shooting them on retreat. Looks like maybe they're far enough away. That is very close, but they do get away. They were doing a lot of damage there with the buff and taking a lot of damage. The Chaos Lord falls over. Sorcerer may also fall over. That's a lot of Lasguns on retreat path. Yep, down he goes. Maybe the Plague Champion can come over here and get some XP for reviving those fellas. Lord Commissar in amongst some heretics. Quietly cleaving through them, and SpicketySplitLickety does get a second Khatrin squad on the field. Lots of great disruption options and some support from those guys too. They're also super dangerous in melee combat with their power melee, super powerful knives that they have. Noise Marines on the field for Firefox, Noise Marines on the way for War, who did get the second CSM squad up, double CSM for all three. Might slow them down a bit, moving forward into tier 2 and stuff, but we'll see how they do. With a ton of war on each, you can pump out some good damage in tier 1. We'll see how efficient it turns out to be. The Plague Champion with the Mucus Discharge to help support his backline with that heal. Really well played so far though from Jadow. Gets a turret up, caps that natural wreck point. He's got a heavy weapon squad in play with that heavy bolter. Eternal War on a double CSM. Got rid of those guardsmen, very close to dying actually. The damage over time gets them down to 6 hit points. The Plague Champion almost went down as well. A little bit sloppy there from Einar. A little bit too laser focused on those guards, and maybe could have spread out more, could have backed off more. Did they grenade barrage that heavy weapon squad? I'm not sure. I was too focused on that guardsman squad as well to see. Some disruption from the Khattrins. A bunch of heretics blew up and run away. Sort of doom bolts as I came over here too. Heretics with Aspiring Champion for Firefox, Doom Blast and Run. Khattrins barely making it out of there, down to 8 hit points here. They both got away. Ibis has lost one of their guardsman squads now. Tier 2 all round, at pretty close to each other too for all the guardsman players. Sorcerer, I assume, revived themselves, and now they're going to revive the Chaos Lord and most likely not get a level 3 out of it. Chaos Lord's still level 1. No, didn't get the level 3 ding. The double noise marine should be super effective here. Really shut down a Khatrin squad because they can't use their grenade launcher, they can't use their shotgun blast, they can't obviously use their shotguns when they get in sonic blasted like this. Shutting down ranged attack, doing some good damage too, and they all bunch up and get affected by it. Trying to get on that quick power bash. I think it was the right call. They might have to retreat these guys afterwards, but they have a solid base to fall back to. These guys are staying in here way too long. What are they doing? There's Cacophony to open up a retreat path. Okay, they're alright. It was well played in the end by War. Bought a little bit more time for these guys to stabilize. Havocs have moved up a bit. They're going to be disrupted by the Khattrins you'd expect. Grenade barrage, on the CSM and now on the Havocs. They have 3 Khattrins in here though, right? Where is Spickety? Oh, those guys are off. Those guys are out of there. Havoc's now being debuffed by the Basilisk Flare of the Lord Commissar's Global Bar, who is down, by the way, over here. Completely missed that. 442 to 418. Blue team retain the west side for now. East side is looking very good though for the red team. Still pushed all the way up, and they control this contested contested power over there. And the constant pressure on this power too. Einar goes to the tier 2, did not get Havocs up, spent a bunch of power upgrading stuff, but as you can see, against a heavy weapon squad, double CSM quite inefficient, even with the grenade launchers. Maybe needed double grenade launchers or a Havoc of their own there, or noise marines or just something. They've gone into Bloodletters, but they're already up against a tier 2 player. Bloodletters should do some good work though. Mark of Zinch for these Chaos Space Marines. Kicking off again on the eastern edge. There's that grenade barrage, going to hit all those guards, and we have plasma guns loaded in now. Doing a lot of DPS to those heavy infantry Chaos Space Marines. Einar needs some help here. Maybe the Bloodletters are the help. These are demons with power melee weapons. They can teleport in and get rid of the big problem, which is the heavy weapons. But I mean, plasma guns are still a problem. This missile launcher is also bad news for punched up CSM. Can they get in without taking too much damage to Bloodletters? The heavy weapon squad has backed off. Here comes some support as well from War. You got any war gear, Mr. Sorcerer? No war gear for the Sorcerer. Those CSM kind of blundered into death. Look at that. Took so much damage. Doom Bolts gets rid of this stuff. Are they going to bash the power or steal the power? I think they should just bash it. I'm typically of a mind that if you find contested power build up, just bash it. Typically, unless it's a super one-sided game, in which case you don't need the extra power, it's just too hard to hold. Obviously, you should try to load it and keep it, but putting gens down usually doesn't work out in terms of how much you're spending to get it going. how often he gets hit and stolen and stuff. There are instances when it's worth it, of course, especially if one of your naturals is always getting hit and maybe you're super safe on the other side, then it would be worth it. Chimera here from SpicketySplitLickety to support the double Khattrins and stuff. Having some trouble though. There's the Shrine of Tzeentch shooting out Doom Bolts, 2 of them here. Not doing much for the Chimera, but that Blastmaster shot did. They don't have any other anti-vehicle. No. Almost got it with that rear armor Blastmaster hit. That's a Basilisk Flare to debuff the range of those guys. Lord Commissar's back to his feet, nicely done by ibisredibis. Stormtroopers getting Doom Bolted. Trying to decap the VP. And they got it. Well done, fellas. Chaos are going to get it right back. I think they've set up okay over here with the shrines and the Blastmaster. Chimera had to back off, but they can go again. East side, heretics be dying. They've stopped worshipping and run away now. Looks like they actually stole the power here. They didn't load it though. So as soon as they get pushed off, they're just going to lose it again. If they get pushed off. Tier 3 all around for the Guard. Imperial Guard, Tier 3, super strong of course with the Leman Russes and stuff. Can they get onto the natural power? They're on it. Yeah, don't commit the Bloodletters here. You should just decap the wreck point here with the Bloodletters, I think. Always got to think real hard before you commit a melee squad to a power bash, because they're the first ones to get hit, and typically you can't just back them off without taking tons of damage, so you just have to retreat them if they get caught. Leman Russ dropped in by Jadow. Einar Helwinter responds with Plague Marines, which are their anti-vehicle unit, but they're going to have a tough time taking out a Leman Russ by themselves. Plague Champion has the Armor of Pestilence, so we might see the Fist, and it's a sound bug. And we're back. Sorry for the cuts, but sound bugs, hey? Pain in the arse. Big engagement on the west side. We have Mark of Khorne Habrooks with an autocannon. Might do some good work to the Chimera. They got knocked over though by probably Khattrins or a grenade or something. Chimera going in. Khattrins are inside it, I think. Yep, double Khattrins getting out. This could be, yeah, really dicey. Plague Marines are in play there from War, and down goes the Chimera. A little bit more patience then maybe from SpicketySplitLickety. Really wanted to push with the Chimera. Khattrins, I think, will be okay. Leman Russ dropped in by ibisredibis now. Targeting heretics, it seems like. Now they're targeting the Sorcerer of the main cannon. Can they take him out? Not quite. Leman Russ needs to back away because the Plague Marines are still there, as is the Blastmaster, which could get some nasty rear armor hits. Plague Marines need to be chasing, I think. It's two Blastmasters, in fact. This one is facing the wrong way. If the Plague Marines chased a bit quicker there, they would have finished it. Did not chase quickly enough. Leman Russ now getting repairs from the Guardsmen and from the repair bunker itself. Still showing rear armor though, is it? No, it's turned around. CSM pushing up as a distraction. Plague Marines should be tied up by the Lord General here. And there's a nuke. Imperial Abyss from Firefox. Looks like it was spotted early. Pushes everything back, which may have helped. We have an Execution of Leman Russ now. It's very brave to upgrade it while it's so low, but they went for it. East side, what's going on? Lots of Noble worship. They are trying to take back the power which has been bashed on the eastern edge. Einar's Plague Marines are here. No weapon upgrade yet for the Plague Champion. The Sentinel's very low, going to go down so quick. Down it goes. Lord General of Jadow buffing everything here with incoming. Bunched up so much here, Einar. That Vanquisher Cannon having an easy time because it's hitting multiple models on those shots. And they didn't bring the worship up with them. Lord General in combat with the Plague Marines now to stop them firing the missile. They're far enough away from him, I think, to shoot. There we go. But it's a tough old tank. West side again. Blastmaster gets a little hit there on the Khatchins. They have stabilized this side quite well, the Chaos team. The Shrines are doing a lot of work for them. So those Blastmasters, of course. The Mark of Horn Havocs with the autocannon are back in play. Such an awesome weapon. Executioner is going to tear through the Chaos Space Marines though. There's the Chains of Torment. But that's a creeping barrage from, I assume, Ibis. 442 to 296. Can they punch through here? Maybe overcommitted a little bit on those CSM. Because this tank is a big problem for those CSM. They need a las cannon maybe. The Plague Marines are back in play to at least put some pressure on that thing. Not sure where the Blast Masters are. One of them's back at base, one of them is making his way. Demon Russ is pushing up. You can't tell the Shrines what to shoot at, I don't think. They're doing some good damage to the Khatchins there, as you can see. Couldn't finish the cap. It's an uncapped VP. Is that a Emperor's Wrath? It is. Oh, it didn't one-shot the Shrine. I thought it would one-shot the Shrine. I guess not. They're going to take it down anyway, I think. I think they've done enough to punch through. The Blastmaster's in play. The Commissar should be able to see it off, I think. Down goes the Shrine. Down go both the Shrines, in fact. Commissar now goes after the Noise Marines, but you know what? The cavalry has arrived. The very angry World Eater cavalry is here. But we also see Jadow coming all the way over to the west side. It's like 3v2 now. Maybe even 3v1, because I'm not sure how much of war stuff is here. Yeah, a bunch of it is still back at base. Firefox needs to not overcommit to this engagement and lose too much stuff. Blastmaster didn't knock over anything. Oh, that's because incoming was up on the Ogrins there. Just barreling through. Are those both Marco Zinch CSM? No, none of them are. They're already Marco Zinch fellas. Oh, they are Wars CSM. 440 to 296. Something's kicking off in the mid. Looks like that's where Einar is. There's Chains of Torment again. Maybe he should have been saved for the Ogrins. What's he doing now? Oh, he's subjugating. Subjugating the Khatchins. Should send them into melee with the Ogrins, I say. They shotgun blasted those fellas, and now they turned around and killed the Sorcerer after the subjugation wore off. They should get revived there, though, I think. Double slaughter up for the CSM. That's an ability given to them by the aspiring champion. I think it removes the cooldown of their ranged weapons and it does fire way more. Can also, as they've done now, draw melee weapons and get into some close combat with some health regen and stuff. And actually some pretty decent melee damage too. They took out those Khatchins. Those were SpicketySplitLicketies. So here comes Einar. Some Noble Worship, double CSM and double Plague Marines. Bloodletters also around to really mix it up. Ouch. Grenades and Executioner. Lots of damage there. Chaos Terminators in play from War. 414 to 296. The Imperial Guard have a lot of VPs to make up here, but they do have the west side, and they are getting their natural VP back. This is an Emperor's Wrath. Backs away, gets hit on the edge of it, but survives. They might put another bunker a little bit further up, perhaps, the Imperial Guard. Landraider Phobos on the field for Firefox. Twin-linked las cannons on the side sponsons, twin-linked heavy bolter, and a storm bolter on top. Or combi bolter, or whatever you call it. 409 to 296. Ogrins with that incoming are kind of a menace. 30% damage resist and no knockbacks. Not sure why these Terminators are pushing up, that is. I mean, maybe to create some space for that power. But there's plasma guns aplenty in those guardsman lines. And the Executioner are really ripping through the Terminators. Can they get the Leman Russ hit? Phobos is going after it. Surely they've got the Leman Russ down. Down it goes. Now the Phobos needs to be careful. Perhaps back away here. Dirgecaster goes in. Little stun, and then they get debuffed afterwards, which is nice. Chaos Lord's got his claws. And Ogrin's all dead, are they? Yep, Ogrin's got destroyed. Oh, double mark of Khorne Chaos Space Marines and the Chaos Lord were in there, that's why. That's not a melee fight that the Ogrins can take. Chaos Lord goes down. There's a vanquish Leman Russ from Jadow, but the red team kind of depleted now. That was not a good fight for them. Chaos Space Marines are forced to run away. Blast Martyr is set up though. So the Sorcerer is down, Chaos Lord is down. Plague Champion might go for some revives. He's making his way to the west side. Lord Commissar is down in there too. Lost the indicator for him. More Leman Russes. Do you want more Leman Russes? They got 3 Plague Marines. They got these guys with autocannon. They got the Phobos, and they've got this autocannon too. Not to mention the Blast Masters. There's a lot of AV here. I mean, what else do you get as Guardsmen in Tier 3? I don't think the Bane Blade's going to do any better. Yeah, you can get some Khatrin up for disruption and stuff. But it might be the case that it's just like Leman Russ and grind it out. Leman Russ and use the Leman Russ is better. Plague Champion with all the revives. Vanquish Cannon getting shots in. Pretty damn accurate actually. I think they both hit in there. 396 to 296. All this terrain scarring. Playing havoc with my frame rates. Blast Master with a really solid hit on the Stormtroopers. Down they go. Rocket Run. Is that a double Rocket Run? That was a Rocket Run in a creeping barrage. That caused some havoc for sure. Chaos though still pushing forward. So suited to that aggressive style. Double CSM with Eternal War and Mark of Khorne, taking plasma shots. They're both level 3 I think though. Yeah, so almost 2,000 hit points, not bad at all. There's Malignant Blindness from the Chaos Lord. Phobos is being chased down though. This is a default Leman Russ here. What is this? They got the Leman Russ, but what is this? Sigil of the Rift doesn't work on vehicles. That was the Sorcerer trying to save the Phobos there. But yeah, it doesn't transport vehicles around. Should have used the Warp Global. But it worked out in the end. The Phobos lives, the Leman Russ went down. And, well played Einar. Really came through strong in the late game here. With his Tier 2 army, let's say. And got a cap on the VP. Imperial Guard. What are you going to do? Might have to drag some stuff from the west by going through the mid maybe. Perhaps try to isolate Einar 2v1 and get some good kills. It's tough though. You get to this point in like late game 3v3 where you're trying to drag yourself back into the game, but you're fighting such large armies. This is where nukes come in handy, eh? I'm not sure why this is blowing up a bit. It ran over some ammo, I think. I mean, having said that, this VP is red. And they're closing in on the VPs. Khatrin are up for SpicketySplitLickety. Phobos down asking. Nope, it was not taken down. In the mid, it's kicking off a bit. We have double mark of Zeke CSM for Einar. Very good damage type against Ogrins, but there's that incoming again. The Lord General himself doesn't seem to be affected by it, but his retinue do. It's not like they can focus him down super easily. They're barreling through. They might get the VP here for a triple. Looks like Chaos are back onto the west side. Or are they? Not sure why they're not decapping. I guess they can't see what we can see. Nuke goes off. Did some good work, I think. Is he going to get the Lord, the General? Nope, there's a Noxious Cloud in there as well. 336 to 287. Ibis, Red Ibis down to 2 units, so I guess that nuke hit him pretty well. Ogrins are taken out at least. No, they weren't. There's Jadow's Ogrins that are up. 327 to 287. Mark of Khorne CSM. They seem to charge in, have some fun, killing some stuff, and have to run immediately. But they're putting pressure on, they're pushing them back, you know. VP's decapped here. Ogrins have found the Terminators. Bad fight for the Terminators. Teleporting out. Blastmaster gets a... No, doesn't get hit. Autocannon not quite in range to shoot there. 302 to 287 on the VPs. Bane Blade for ibisredibis. See how it does. Level 3 Khatrin here with a grenade. And they've got plasma guns loaded in. These guys can change their weapons freely. Their specialized weapons. Ogrins are pretty low. They're taking hits from the Shrine, but the Plague Marines, level 4 Plague Marines, are not fighting them. There we go. Just ready to leave. Here comes Einar. Double Leman Russ is supported by a repair bunker. And there's a rocket running there again. No, creeping barrage, sorry. From one of the Lord Generals. Ibis is down to a single unit. But the Bane Blade is on the way. Blue team still unable to cap this VP, and red team have a VP lead. They've got that lead now. They were like 150 behind at some point, I think. Phobos is finally repaired and back in there. Now counts as a demon in terms of worship effectiveness, which is great for the Phobos. Down goes the Lord, the General of Ibis. Those Plague Marines should be capping. But they're not. They're going after the Leman Russes, I guess. Someone needs to be capping. Here comes a Lord Commissar. Maybe he can hit a really good Emperor's Wrath. Oh, it's actually called off-map artillery, the ability. I don't know if I ever realised that. I always call it Emperor's Wrath. Because it's an awesome name for a thing. Okay, blue team. I'm not sure if you're going to finish that cap, but at least decapped red team's natural VP. Run away, fellas. Run away, fellas. Bane Blade is on you. Plague Champ is down. Those CSM fall over. Monster Cannon. Would have been a really good hit if they didn't retreat. Going to get a triple cap here, Chaos. It was a good 3-pronged attack. That was War's CSM that died. Yeah. They got more Terminators here. There's the triple. Khatrin on the way for SpicketySplitLickety. Khatrin up for Jadow. And they're getting plasma guns. Taking a natural back. Do they have what it takes, though, to push the west side? Look at those rosters for the blue team. Got Chaos Terminators now for Einar. Be careful, Bane Blade coming. There it is. See how it does. 258 to 221. Blastmaster gets a solid hit. Chaos Lord, not sure what he's up to. Gonna go after the Ogrins, I think. No, there's that. They're going to see burn. Weren't knocked over because of the incoming. CSM forced to retreat. Chaos Lord runs away. Should have gone into the Ogrins there. The frame rate is absolutely dying. It's a decent push from the guard. Leman Russ is going to fall. Down it goes. Demolisher Cannon gets a very satisfying shot there. What an ending to the fight. Well, boss, doing some really good work against the Bane Blade, you know. Can chase it down, maybe. Maybe those Chaos Terminators can chase it down in melee. Blastmaster finishes off the Bane Blade. That might be the end of the Imperial Guard. And I think this Leman Russ is going to go down too. That's a Manticore strike over there. Leman Russ does go down. I think that's the end for the guard. A hell of a fight, though. ibisredibis maybe realizing that was the final push. My frame rate got absolutely tanked since I restarted after that sound bug. I don't think it usually gets that bad. There's just so much terrain scarring over there, I guess. Couldn't even get a natural back. Looks like they're going to fight to the end, though. Khatrin wiped. Khatrin now for SpicketySplitLickety. Or were those guardsmen? Oh, those were Khatrin, I think. Look how quick they are with that sprint. Got the hell out of there. Yeah, this side of the map. kills my frame rate. I lost everything, says Ibis. Are they gonna keep on fighting? Are they gonna give it one last push, says Spickety. Maybe with a Manticore strike thrown in there. For the Emperor. Blade Champion's back to his feet. Level 7 Sorcerer 2 got the revive. Doesn't seem like Firefox has the patience to wait for them to concede. Just pushing in with Einar here. Down goes the Manticore. Couldn't get it shot away. And a nuke thrown in by War. Imperial Abyss. Zinchian version. They're all the same, by the way. They just look different. Rocket Run. Didn't seem to phase the Terminators very much. And there it is. Imperial Guard do concede. I guess there was no final push in the end. Level 7 Blade Champion, level 7 Sorcerer, and level 8 Chaos Lord with the Armor of the Inferno and the Icon of Khorne. Level 7 Lord Commissar did have the Xenos Power Claw at the end. It was hard to spot this guy because we lost the indicator quite early for him. Ibisredibis Lord the General with level 6, and Jadow's Lord General, which kept the numbers up. Was really strong on the east side. The Lord General here got level 7. Maybe they should have been focused on that VP a little bit more. Tried to isolate Einar maybe. But Einar was actually pretty solid. They got pushed back a lot but didn't lose a lot. Really impressed with how they stabilized the west side so well. And a nuke at the end. We saw like 3 or 4 Chaos nukes, I think. A bunch of rocket runs. It was a hell of a game. Thank you for watching, guys. Thanks for these guys as well for sending in this faction war, and I'll see you next time.